Let's get straight to the point. The first reason is the Fujifilm Colors. The Fujifilm XE2 has one of the best color science I've ever seen on the camera. Surprisingly close to the latest sensor, let's say the one on the X-T4, and I cannot believe this camera is 8 years old. The JPEG straight out of the XE2 is definitely usable for almost any kind of social media uses. If I'm being lazy, I literally can just post a JPEG without any editing. When I'm taking pictures with my Fujifilm cameras, I'm almost always on auto white balance because I don't really need a super consistent color amount on my photos, and the standard color profile, which is Provia, looks extremely pleasant and accurate to me. I'm more into taking photos of people through either portrait or street photography, so skin tone is more important than anything. And I'm very happy with the skin tone on the XE2. It requires the least amount of tweaking, which is always the best. The second reason is sharpness. Trust me, for most of the users nowadays on social media where people mostly see the photos on their phone or tablet, 60 megapixels is enough. As long as you don't crop your photo for, I would say, more than 20%. Even if you set the sharpness on the X-E2 all the way to high, it is not that sharp. At least not digitally sharp like a lot of other cameras. Sometimes I feel like that is just the right amount of sharpness for me. As a user for both the X-E2 and the X-T4, I sometimes feel like the X-E2 is even sharper than the X-T4. I know it is not true, but at least that means the X-E2 is sharp enough for me. Also, to most of the people, they don't pixel peep like us. At least that's what my friends told me. If you're mainly going to share your photos on social media or even as big as on a TV, trust me, you will not be upset by the sharpness of this 16 megapixels X-Trans2 sensor. I usually leave the in-camera sharpness to medium or low just in case if I want to edit the raw photos in Lightroom later. That actually leads me to another cool feature that is available on all Fujifilm cameras, including the XE2, and that is RAW conversion. I actually made a whole video about RAW conversion on Fujifilm cameras, showing you how I use it. I'll link the video in the description below, definitely check it out. It basically allows you to edit your raw photos in the camera where you can change the exposure, film simulation, white balance shift, and more. Definitely my favorite Fujifilm camera feature. The next reason why I think the X-E2 is still worth it is the ISO performance. Yes, it is nothing like a Sony which you can see in the dark. You will get noise after you pass 3200 ISO, but the noise from Fujifilm camera looks more like film grain instead of noise that you want to remove in post, and that is the beauty. I figured that Fujifilm cameras have very little color noise, which is the most annoying to deal with, and the X-E2 doesn't really have that, so I never really used noise reduction at all. That will also keep the images sharper. Film simulations are okay on the X-E2. You won't have acros or classic neg because it has an older processor, but classic chrome is the one I use most of the time anyway, and it is available in the X-E2. Flexibility is another big reason why I think the X-E2 is still worth it. You can use any old or new X-mount lenses on the X-E2 without any issues, and that is absolutely amazing compared to brands where you need to use an adapter to use older lenses on newer camera bodies. Being able to change lenses compared to a fixed lens camera like the X100 series is much more fun, at least to me. I can do street, portrait, landscape, or even real estate photography with this one tiny camera. Yes, the next reason is because of the tiny camera body. The X-E2 is a lot smaller than most of the cameras these days with an interchangeable lens mount. Trust me, it feels much easier to carry a smaller camera. And as I said before, the easier to carry your gear, the more you will bring your camera out to take more photos, which brings me to the next reason, the look of the X-E2. The X-E2 is a very nice looking camera. I know it is a personal preference and it doesn't have anything to do with the image quality, but I'm very happy looking at the X-E2 and it makes me want to carry it with me all the time to, again, take more pictures, so why not? There's also another personal preference related reason, the buttons. The X-E2 doesn't have a touchscreen like most of the cameras nowadays, but it has enough buttons for me to quickly navigate through all the settings. To me, it is like a video game controller that I can get to things even faster because of muscle memory. Keep in mind that there are two buttons on the left that you cannot map to other things. But there is more than enough buttons for me already, so I have no complaint at all. The last reason is the price. The XE2 is very cheap in terms of price to performance. You can get it used for about $300 right now, and that is almost less than the cheapest lens you can buy. The images you get out of this camera is definitely more than the price you are paying, and I got mine for around $250. There's one thing I want to mention though, don't get the XE2 for video. Trust me, your phone can most likely take better videos than the XE2. It is so bad that you wouldn't want to use it unless your phone is not around. It has almost no control at all, and you have to map a specific button just to start taking videos, so just don't do it. That's it. Those are the reasons why I think the Fujifilm XE2 is still worth getting. Yes, the sensor and the technology are old, but it doesn't mean that it is not capable to take great photos. You can definitely get some amazing work done with this camera. Plus, they don't make this sensor anymore. That's why I'm keeping mine even if I'm getting a new camera. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. What is your favorite Fuji camera? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Whatever, all this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter. Ride or die, that's been the deal. The light of your back, I disappear. But if you don't play that for me, I'm out of it, I'm out of it. I lick my gun and then I'm done. I'm out of it, I'm out of it. And no man to tell me you're no good. I'm brushing away to you, the weight of you. My shoulder, done with my cigarette, and when all the smoke is clear, I'm brushing away to you, the weight to you, the weight to you. Don't need a no tell me you know.